Salutine, Connie Santos Hushe, Jean Luechotwe Denesutline Hesley. Good afternoon. My name is Connie Santos, and I am Denesutline from here in Luechotwe, and I am the Director for Family and Community Support Services. And today we're here to talk about some of the things that we're doing at Family and Community Support Services for the community. And I'm going to be introducing my colleague here, and go ahead.
Hi, I'm Shannon Gerling-Hebert. I'm a Bill C-92 consultant supporting Cold Lake First Nations family and community support services through their building capacity to exercise jurisdiction over child and family services.
So we're here to talk a little bit about Bill C-92, which is the act in which gives the nations the jurisdiction to provide child protective services. And in order to do that, we have to create our own law. So back in 2019, there was a bill that was passed that allowed Indigenous nations to take control over their child welfare. And 2 years ago, I was brought on board to lead that team. And we have been providing a lot of early intervention and advocacy for all of the children that are currently in care with the provincial child welfare services throughout Alberta. We have some children in British Columbia, also in Saskatchewan and Ontario. We have there's currently about 300 children that are providing or receiving services from the province. And so we're helping to repatriate some of those children to their families and to the community. And in order for us to do that, we have to have facilities in order to give people an opportunity to come to visit the community, to have a place to stay and receive some programming. And as a result, Shannon and I have been working on accessing funding to build buildings so that we can provide those services. And we were successful in retaining enough funds to build an administrative office building for our team. Currently, we have about 15 staff, and we expect that that number will continue to grow, whether part-time or on contract, short-term services with casual employees. So we have retained an architectural firm in the last year to be able to get some designs in place. And we have been at the drawing board now for a while, getting all of that, those ideas that we've had to formulate what these two buildings are going to consist of. So the first building that you're going to, the architects will walk you through will be our administrative building. And the second building it's actually two residences that are connected. One part of that residence will have, there's 8 one-bedroom units. And so the purpose for that would be a short-term stay. If, for example, we had a young parent with a child that was in high risk situation, we would bring them to our facility and house them, and they'll be also will be able to participate in the programming. And once that they're stabilized, we'll move them into the second part of the residences, which is larger units, and the stay there could be a much longer period of time, depending on the needs of the child and the family. And we're very excited and pleased to be able to bring this all together in this period of time. The architects will be able to tell you the projected opening, grand opening, and what the facility would look like. Did you want to add anything?
No, I think it's good.
Okay. So this ends our section of the presentation, and so the architects will be giving you the overview of the buildings and what they're being purposed as. Thank you. So as I mentioned, we had retained a architectural firm to design our buildings, and I'm going to let our architect to introduce herself and talk about the design.
Yeah, hi. So my name's Andrea Ruether. I'm an architect with Group 2 Architecture Interior Design in Edmonton, and we'll be your architects for this project. So first we'll take a look at the administration building site plan. So where we're looking at placing this building is just north of the band administration office, so kind of across the street from where the community services building is currently, right next to the ice rink. So we'll have access to that parking on the north side there, and then we'll be adding some additional staff parking to the west side of the building as well as sort of a little entrance area that'll have some lovely planting, etc. on the front of that. So we'll take a look at the floor plan now. You can see some of the interior spaces. So over on the on this side of the building here, that's where most of the public-facing programs will be. So that will be where reception is. You'll come in through those doors just on the top of the plan there, on the top right-hand side, assuming that's over there. That'll be your reception. You'll come in there, and right off of that space, we'll have the support and cafe area, youth drop-ins. So that'll be where people can come. They can hang out. They can spend some time. You can socialize with your community and get any help that you need with filling out forms, doing other processes, etc. Also on that right-hand side of the building, we've got the other program spaces as well, which includes the teaching kitchen, as well as a classroom space for any of the more classroom-oriented online learning programs, etc. Little storage space at the bottom, and then a really great gathering ceremonial space, which will have lovely views to the outside, as well as sort of a hearth space in the middle, and we'll be able to seat upwards of 25 people in that space. Also, there will be the offices for visiting professionals on that side, as well as your washrooms and other sort of support spaces. And then on your other side of the building, that's where most of your staff spaces will be. So that includes set offices for, I believe there's 9 permanent offices, and then open office space in the middle so that people are able to come in, they can touch down at a desk, they can work collaboratively with their colleagues, and then if they need to step away and take a call, they can step into those smaller central offices that are kind of in that middle core piece. We've labeled those as breakout spaces, and so that's where people can pop in to take a private phone call, step in to speak privately with a client, have a small meeting, etc. And then down along the bottom, we've also got the meeting room, which will be divisible into 2 spaces if need be, and then also the garage, which will be for maintaining and servicing the vehicles that are used for the various programs that Connie offers. So then I guess we'll take a look at the housing site plan next. So the housing building, we're looking at placing it just east of the community center. So it would share some of the parking lot with that community center, as well as have some additional parking and entrance spaces off the front. On the left-hand side of the building, when you first walk in, you walk into sort of the social core, the hub of the building, where everyone comes to gather. There's the communal kitchen, which will have spaces for 3 separate families to be cooking at the same time in that space, as well as some banquette seating, sort of like how you'd see at a restaurant, with different tables there for people to sit and eat together at. And that'll also have some great connections across the hall to the social gathering space, which is where everyone in the building can come and gather, do different activities together, ceremonial activities, casual social gathering. And then just south of that is a play space where the kids can go, they can run around, they have lots of room to get crazy, keep all the toys in that space, and that'll have really good visibility as well into the kitchen and the shared laundry area so that the parents can come and take care of the stuff that needs to be done while the kids are running off some steam across the hall, and you can still keep eyes on them. Just south of those programs, that'll be where the emergency housing portion is. So those rooms are set up more as a hotel style room. So they don't have their own kitchen and living, but they do have private bedrooms, private bathrooms, and some storage space for people to keep their coats and their shoes. And that's sort of meant for people who need to stay about 3 to 6 months to get themselves sorted back on their feet a little bit. And then once they're ready, they'll transition to that right-hand wing of the building where there's kind of the jagged edges there. And those are all of the transitional units. So there's 12 of those units, 9 2-bedrooms and 3 1-bedroom units. And those do have their own individual kitchen and living rooms. They're sort of set up like little apartments. And so everyone has their own individual space, and that would be for people staying about 6 months to a year and a half, getting more back on their feet, ready to return to their communities and, feeling more secure in themselves and their families. And then in the center of that, we've got some play space for the children outside as well as a large cultural ceremonial space outside. Did you want to add anything about the cultural ceremonial space outside, Connie?
Yes, we're also will be located close to the rodeo area so that we will be able to offer some equine therapy kind of programming as well.
Yeah, so some really great connections there, and of course the great connection across the treat area there right to the school, which will be great for the families as well.
It'll be accessible to a lot of the area within the core of our community, and we're very excited. We know that the need is there based on the number of families that we are working with, and continue to get more requests for our services. And we are looking forward to day one when we open up. And maybe Andrea, you might be able to give us a little bit of an idea of how long this whole project will kind of take and unfold?
Yeah, for sure. So right now we're working in what we call the schematic design phase. So we've been working with Connie and her team over the last few months to determine what program elements need to be in the building, what types of spaces we need, how those spaces are going to need to be used, and what their relationship is to each other. So now we'll be bringing on the engineering consultants, so structural, mechanical, electrical, so that they can dig their teeth in as well and start figuring out how the building works and what the systems that are in the building are. And from there, we'll move into design development and then construction documents, where we'll be actually making the blueprints and making sure that everything has all the pieces, all the building pieces to come together to create a really robust, really energy efficient, sustainable building. For both of those buildings. So we're looking at wrapping up those construction documents by roughly the end of this year. So November, what year is it? 2023? November 2023. So it would be ready to go out to tender over the Christmas break there into January. So that the ground would be broke next spring at roughly this time. And both of those buildings we're planning on having go forward on construction at the same time to gain some efficiencies there as well.
Great. We also wanted to mention that we were able to collaborate with another. There was some funding that was available for some gardening, and so we're going to be able to create some gardens, outdoor gardens for both buildings, and we're looking forward to having that implemented too. And I believe a memorial statue in relation to the residential school survivors. So we welcome any comments. If you have any comments on the designs or ideas or programming, please feel free to contact FCSS. The phone number is 780-594-7187. And come and see what we have. Thank you.
Thank you very much.